Something really incredible is happening in Nepal right now. We're in the middle of this massive electric revolution, and it's cleaning up the air in our cities and making us more energy independent. But hidden inside this amazing success story is a challenge we absolutely cannot afford to ignore: a ticking time bomb made of battery waste. Okay, let's dive in and figure out what's really going on.
Just imagine walking through Kathmandu today. That constant roar of traffic, it's slowly, quietly, being replaced by the gentle hum of electric vehicles. This is so much more than a trend. It's a fundamental shift that's changing the way our cities sound and even smell. It's even helping protect the air around our ancient UNESCO sites, which is just fantastic.
And the sheer scale of this change is, well, it's staggering. Since just 2020, Nepal has imported more than 75,000 electric vehicles. Now, we've had electric transport before, sure. We all remember the iconic Safa Tempos, but this is on a whole other level. This is a nationwide embrace of a cleaner electric future.
So, you might be asking, what's behind this massive push? Well, a huge part of it is just simple economics. In 2022 alone, Nepal spent a colossal 293 billion rupees on imported petroleum. At the exact same time, we're becoming a hydropower powerhouse. So every single EV on the road is a blow against that expensive dependency. We're finally using our own clean energy to power our own country.
And get this, we're just getting started. The government has set this incredibly ambitious target. By 2030, they want 90% of all private passenger vehicle sales to be electric. That's a powerful signal that the forces driving this change are here to stay, and things are only going to speed up.
So, with all this incredible momentum, you gotta ask the tough question. What's the catch? What is the hidden cost of this amazing green transition? Because there's always a catch, isn't there?
And that right there brings us to the heart of the issue, what I've been calling the ticking time bomb of EV batteries. Every single one of those 75,000 vehicles and all the millions more to come is carrying a powerful battery that one day will reach the end of its life on the road.
And look, this isn't some far-off problem for our grandkids to solve. The typical EV battery has a lifespan in a car of about 8 to 12 years. That means the batteries from the cars people bought back in 2020, they're going to start becoming a massive waste problem before this decade is even over. The countdown has already started.
So, what's actually inside these things? Well, it's kind of like a chemical cocktail. You've got materials like lithium and cobalt, which are incredibly valuable, but you've also got stuff like lead and mercury, highly toxic heavy metals. If you don't handle them correctly, these things pose a huge threat to our environment and to our health.
And when these batteries are handled the wrong way, the risks are really severe. We're talking about workers in the informal sector getting directly exposed to these chemicals because they're taking things apart without safety gear. We're talking about contamination of our soil and our groundwater, which can then get into our food supply. And yeah, there's a very real, very dangerous fire hazard.
And here is the critical flaw in the system. The technology has just moved way faster than the policy. Right now, Nepal has no formal national framework for managing this specific kind of waste. This massive policy vacuum means that dangerous, informal methods are basically the default. And that, my friends, is a recipe for an environmental disaster. Okay, I know this all sounds pretty alarming, but it doesn't have to end this way. The good news is there are clear, proven solutions out there. The real question isn't if we can solve this, it's how. How do we defuse this ticking time bomb before it goes off? The answer starts with a complete shift in how we think about this. We have to stop seeing old batteries as garbage and start seeing them for what they are, a valuable national resource. And this brings us to this really cool concept called urban mining.
See, for decades, our economy has been linear. It's a one-way street. We take resources, we make products, and then we throw them away. But there's a better way, a circular economy. In this model, we use things and then we regenerate the materials to be used over and over again. It creates this closed, sustainable loop.
Urban mining is really the heart of this whole circular idea. Instead of digging new mines in the ground, we mine the valuable materials from the products we've already made. All those old batteries piling up, well, they're basically a rich above-ground deposit of incredibly valuable metals.
And listen, this isn't just some fantasy. A recent techno-economic study has already concluded that building a modern battery recycling plant right here in Nepal is totally possible and profitable. The tech is there and the business case is solid.
Just how solid is that business case? Well, the same study estimates the payback period for investing in a plant like this would be just 3 years. 3!
This isn't some risky long-term gamble, it's a near-term economic opportunity that's just sitting there, waiting for someone to grab it.
But recycling isn't even the whole story. Before a battery gets broken down for its raw materials, it can have a whole second career. Even when it's not strong enough for a car anymore, an old EV battery still holds about 70 to 80% of its original charge, which is perfect for things that don't need to move.
Just think about what this could mean for Nepal. These second-life batteries could store power for solar projects in remote villages, provide critical backup power for our hospitals and schools, and even help make our national power grid more stable. We can literally turn a waste problem into a development solution.
So, we have the solutions. We know what's possible. Now let's talk about the concrete steps we need to take to build the circular future and make sure Nepal's green revolution is actually truly sustainable for the long haul.
Okay, the single most important policy we need is something called Extended Producer Responsibility, or EPR. This is a total game changer. The idea is simple. It puts the responsibility for a product's entire life cycle, from creation all the way to disposal, squarely on the company that made it or imported it. This gives them a huge incentive to design products that are easier to recycle and to invest in getting them back.
So, the path forward really breaks down into 3 clear steps. First, we need to enact strong EPR policies to create accountability. Second, we have to invest in the modern, safe recycling infrastructure to process these batteries properly. And third, we need to build public awareness and create a national culture of repair so everyone knows how to handle this stuff responsibly.
And that brings us to this very moment. Nepal is truly standing at a critical crossroads. The decisions we make over the next few years are going to define the entire legacy of this electric transition.
The choice is really ours. Are we going to be the country that just swapped one kind of pollution for another, trading tailpipe emissions for toxic landfills? Or are we going to seize this moment, build a world-class circular economy, and create a blueprint for the rest of the world on how to build a truly sustainable future? The time to decide is right now.